edition of Fifth Gear, how to parallel park the exciting way. What happens when you squeeze a large man into a small racing car for his first ever race? And how to find today's best used car bargains.
We've just flown 6,000 miles because there's a new car arriving in the UK next year that promises to be so good we just had to drive it right now. It's the brand new Nissan 350Z, which the Japanese manufacturers hope will revive their reputation in the two-seater sports car market and bring back the glory days of their Z cars, which began in the early 70s with the 240Z. The brief from Tokyo was to create a car that looks the way it drives and drives the way it looks. So I shouldn't be disappointed, because this is stunning. In fact, I think this is the best-looking Nissan ever. From its seductively curved roofline to its neatly flared arches, with touches of aggression supplied by the angular rear lamps and deep front air dam. It reminds me of the way I felt when I first saw the Audi TT, although that turned out to be a big disappointment when I actually drove it. Let's hope history isn't about to repeat itself. Well, it's certainly got all the right ingredients. A 3.5-litre, 287 horsepower V6 in the front, rear-wheel drive, and a 6-speed gearbox in the middle. And over this deserted mountain road where Steve McQueen used to play, it's proving to be one of the most enjoyable drives I've had for years. This isn't a rock-hard racer with knife-edge handling. Indeed, the ride quality is very good indeed, yet there's still an awful lot of grip, and they've got the balance just right. Yes, it drives as well as it looks. Perhaps not as pin-sharp as a Boxster, but far, far better than the dull Audi TT. In fact, you're almost getting 911 performance for half the price. On sale now in the USA are 7 versions of the 350Z, ranging from regular to racy, priced to go head-to-head with homegrown heroes like the Ford Mustang and Z28 Chevy Camaro. The only thing that really lets the Nissan down is the quality of its accommodation. There is plenty of space in the back, but it's cut in half by this huge beam which joins the rear suspension turrets together. Now, that may improve the handling, but it also means you can't get anything big in the boot. And on the inside, it doesn't get any better. There's no glove box and just the smallest of pockets in each door. They have, however, tried to make up for it by hiding little compartments all over the place. But the one where you can house your sat-nav has got the most flimsiest of plastic lids that I've ever seen. Still, I can forgive it all this for the way it handles and the way it looks. Whilst the accommodation may not be ideal, the driving position certainly is, with these 3 cowl dials with the rev counter in the middle, reminiscent of the old 240Z. And to make sure you can see all of them all of the time, they move up and down with the steering wheel. The seating is absolutely perfect, the steering wheel just right. This is a blast. A convertible is in the pipeline for 2004 to take on the Boxster and BMW Z4. And the Germans had better be quaking in their boots, because right here, right now, this coupe is unbelievable value for money. Just think, in America, the entry-level model costs the equivalent of £17,500. OK, when it goes on sale in the UK, it's going to be more like £27,000. But even then, I can't see anything on the market today that gets anywhere near it. Place your orders now. The Z cars are back.
let's face it, reverse parking is a complete nightmare. It doesn't matter who you are. It catches everyone out, from mums to Schumacher, probably.
But fear not, faithful viewer. It's Fifth Gear to the rescue with my exclusive and free step-by-step driving masterclass. Allow me to explain.
There are two methods for parallel parking. Here's the first method. I'll draw it for you. Right. That's one parked car. That's the second parked car. More lock, tucks the back end in further. Then you think you're getting to the point of no return. Then you wind in a bit more lock, just a little bit more lock. And you should see this curb appear in your wing. Wind it round, and you're in the space. Or there's method 2.
Meet Russ Swift, Britain's leading stunt driver. He's been precision driving for over 20 years, handbrake turning where others fear to tread.
Russ, I'm going to try and emulate your greatness. Now, how do I go about doing that?
You want to go to about 15, 20 miles an hour. Take a fairly wide sweep at it. Start to turn, and then at the last minute, pull the handbrake on, and the back wheels will pivot on the front, and you'll end up smack in the middle of the gap.
So the first car, where should that be in my vision when I'm turning? Should I just, can I see the end of it there?
Aim to drive in behind it. Keep your front wheels on a path that's going to end up just behind that car. Right. And then if you're on the curve, the handbrake will just snap the back end in at the last minute.
I mean, I heard that, and I took none of it in at all. I think it's going to be trial by error, so we'll just go for it, all right?
Yep.
Are you nervous?
Terrified.
I'm really excited. I am excited. OK.
So, hold on, everyone. Here we go, and watch a genius at work.
Not quite.
Not quite. What went wrong there, Russ?
Everything.
It wasn't that bad.
You want a bit more speed.
Bit more speed.
A bit wider.
Yeah.
Take a wider arc at it. And actually aim for the gap.
OK, a bit more speed. So
drive into the gap.
About here?
Yeah, go on faster, 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 faster. Turn.
Now, what went wrong there?
Everything.
What? I'm only following orders.
You just too far back. Actually, if you'd been 6 inches further forward, you'd probably slot it in there nicely.
Don't worry, it's just a matter of fine-tuning.
How do you think I'm doing?
You're a natural.
Russ, have confidence in me. That was just a one-off. Everyone has blips.
Yeah.
A blip that bent an axle. But then, against all odds, I had a moment of inspiration. Oh!
Oh dear, that was a big one.
And then on take 73, everything clicked.
Yeah, and then turn about.
Now.
Yes! Yes, Russ! Russ! I love you! I love you! I did it! I did it!
That's it. Good.
I'm a legend, just like you, Russ.
You don't need to do it anymore.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Come back. Would you like my autograph?
No.
When I grow up, I want to be a racing driver. And Tiff says that to do it properly, I've got to start in the Caterham Academy. So I will. You see, it works something like this. You give Caterham a cheque for £14,950 and they give you the kit to a 1.6 road sport like this to keep forever. And then they throw in a day's racing tuition and entry to 2 hill climbs, 2 sprints and 4 races. Yay!
And amazingly, it's actually 50 quid cheaper to buy the car with the entry to the Academy than it is to buy the car on its own. It's fully road legal. Some people do drive them to the circuits. And if you don't know a spanner from a spoon, you can pay out a bit more for a ready-built one rather than a kit. And remember, X marks the novice.
It may be Sesame Street Motorsport, but it's a very convincing race experience. You're all in these open-top, front-engine, rear-wheel drive cars, and my first race experience in the whole world ever is going to be here at Brands Hatch.
The only people who can join the academy are absolute beginners who've never raced before in their lives. People who think paddocks are for horses, and people who think racing lines are go faster stripes. And, of course, large people who find flameproof overalls a bit too itchy round your bum. A day's training earned us all our race licence. Some teaching in a classroom.
You shouldn't ever be induced into adopting the BSM shuffle at any stage, yeah?
More speed.
Some teaching in a car.
Good. Try and use less curb there.
And some stuff with a urine sample.
Don't film this.
But don't worry, everyone. It turns out I'm not pregnant after all. So who else is in this academy, then?
My name's Andy Jackson.
I'm Jonathan Medley. My name's Stephen Colborne-Baber.
Hi, my name's Ben Winrow.
Hi, I'm Bob McCrill. I'm a vicar.
I'm a telephone engineer.
I work for a stationery manufacturer in Yorkshire.
I'm a schoolboy.
I'm an area fleet manager.
And if I wasn't here now, I would be getting much fitter on my bike around the parish.
I'd have to be remodelling the garden for my wife, Tracy.
I'd be walking Millie the dog. I'd be shooting at Bisley.
I'd be working at home base.
Now, young Ben is only 17 and hasn't even passed his driving test yet. But don't be fooled, he's actually leading the championship. Witness the journalist trying to look cool and then laughing very nervously. Nervous because I wasn't even sure I could get in the flaming thing. Now, if Ben really was that quick, then I figured all I had to do was stick to him like glue. Except this is as close as I ever got. I dawdled round qualifying and couldn't have been further off the correct line if I'd tried. I was frightened. I kept hitting my indicators by accident. I even got lapped. Young Ben achieved pole position. I achieved utter depression.
I can't do it. Just panicked. I just went completely to pot. I don't know what I'm doing at all.
And as if I wasn't low enough, after qualifying you get weighed to make sure driver and car aren't too light.
One at a time, please.
Fat chance.
Right, I'm quite demoralised. I've just been out and qualified 17th out of 18. I've been told I'm 50 kilos overweight and that I can't drive very well, which is not very good. Thing is, because we're all out there in the same car with the same engine, you can't moan that someone beat you because they've got a faster car and a bigger budget. Out there, all that matters is talent.
Frankly, this wasn't fun. On the track, there's nowhere to hide. So I went and hid in the kitchen and pursued a rigorous Formula 1 style eating regime. Water, pasta and lots of fried food. And I had a secret weapon. The beauty of working on fifth gear is that Tiff and his advice are only ever a phone call away.
What can I do? Yeah. No, Tiff, I'm just big boned.
Yeah, thanks, Tiff, that helped. I was going to have to grin and bear it, and it didn't help that everyone else was so committed. In fact, they all seemed to be enjoying it.
I'm really worried because the start's on a hill, there's no handbrake, and if you stall it, the immobiliser kicks in, which means I'll be lapped on the first lap. There's also that damn schoolboy to worry about. Also looks like it's going to rain, which is playing on my mind slightly. For a novice championship, this is terrifying.
I'd hated qualifying so much that I just didn't want to race. At all.
Here we go. On our way. I'm terrified. I can't remember anything. I need the toilet. I'm uncomfortable. The car feels like a bucket. I'm not a very good racing driver. I'm hot. It's raining. Red light. Green light, go.
At the front of the grid, Ben leapt into the lead, while at the back of the grid, I leapt into last place. But then something weird happened. I started racing. Look, Mum, it's me.
Yeah! This is just incredible.
And then I started started overtaking. Look, I'm actually doing it. Dad, put a blank video in.
Whoa! Get him, get him, get him, get him!
Come on, admit it, you're impressed.
Bring it on!
But then they started trying to overtake me, the swines.
Oh, he's behind me. He wants me. But I won't let him have me. Got to take this tight. Ah! He's coming at my inside. Oh, you...
Don't worry, I wasn't going to let him get away that easily.
Soft hands, bit of oversteer. Yes, we have him. Ah, see ya.
Ben, meanwhile, had his own overtaking to do. Not so angelic now, is he? But he did finish first.
Go, 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 go!
While I took the most ecstatic 14th of all time.
Yeah! Finisher! Woo!
My transformation into racing driver man was complete.
Tiff and Vicky, I know now. I understand. I may be terrible at this, but now I understand what you're talking about. I want to do more. I don't want to qualify, because that's useless. I don't want to qualify, and I don't want to do laps where you have to do it against the clock. I just want to race against other people.
And if I can't win trophies, I'll just keep nicking Ben's.
By the way,
In the old days, to buy a cheap car, all you had to do was stroll along to an auction, stick your hand up and bag a bargain. But now that's all changed. There are cheap cars literally everywhere. You just need to know where to look.
Put simply, there are no rules when it comes to buying used cars anymore. There are cheap cars at dealers, there are cheap cars in the classifieds, and what you don't have to do is take a week off work and go around those auction sites to find cars at trade money. All you have to do is scamper down to the newsagents, buy yourself a copy of one of these, and you will see them there. Cheap cars like diamonds glinting in the dust. It is honestly so easy, any fool could do it. So that's exactly what this one is going to do.
As Sherlock Holmes would say, the game's afoot. First stop is a dealer's forecourt and a small slice of something glamorous. No, honestly. This place is full of the sort of late plate gear that usually ends up at auction, ex-lease stuff. The trade loves buying them because they've been serviced with no expense spared and have a history printout to prove it. The downside is that they've all done between 70 to 100,000 miles, but don't be scared because it's all motorway work with light wear on steering, shocks and brakes. This little Mercedes is a case in point. It's been bought directly from the lease companies, so with a bit of haggling, you can buy it, warranty and all, for a couple of hundred more than the auction price. Tempting.
Now this little A-Class shows that there really are no rules in the used market. It's a car in retail condition, you get a 12 months warranty, 12 months MOT, full service, yet it's being sold on a dealer's forecourt at close to trade. The bottom book for this A-Class, it's an A160 Elegance 99S, done 96,000, would be 5350. Yet the dealer's got it up at 59.99, and he will, I'm quite sure, sell it for mid-fives. So what is the point of going to an auction and buying something you don't know about with no after-sales when you can get the full retail foreplay and pay trade money? If I came along without a part exchange with £5,500 cash, would I buy that car?
I would shake your hand.
So that's bought at 55?
It is. It's yours. When do you want it?
Well, not quite yet. Couple more to see.
Lovely. I will be there in 25 minutes. Thanks very much. Bye. Now look at this. A free paper, and advertised bold as brass, is a Mazda MX-5, 91H, UK vehicle. It says one previous owner, full Mazda service history. Done a lot of miles, 120, but it's 2650. Now, if I look in my book, 91H with 110,000 miles is 2350, so this is near enough trade. If I can bully him down to low twos, then it will be a trade car and a very cheap little Mazda MX-5 convertible. See how we get on. When you buy privately, look for clues that suggest your potential purchase has been loved. These bits of carpet on the wall were the first signs that this Mazda was the apple of its owner's eye. And it just got better and better. It had had a little paint, but was straight and true, with just one spot of bubbling rust on the sill, a couple of £100 worth. There was a huge wedge of service history, all by a main dealer or a reputable Mazda specialist. The engine bay was mint, and the interior had worn its miles lightly. It all seemed too good to be true. And, as it turned out, it was. I'm gutted. It's a misprint in the paper. It's not 2650, it's 3650. So, you know, it's just too much. He might take 33, you might even be able to battle him down to 3, but it's still a dear car. So, sadly, we've been completely stymied by a misprint in a newspaper, but that's life, that's the way it goes. Hey-ho, on to the next one. I'm on my way to see a Volvo T5 saloon. Now, yes, you're going to tell me that the estates are more desirable than the saloons, but this one just sounds so good. And when you talk to people on the telephone, you get a feeling whether the car is any good or not just by what they say. He wants £4,000 for it. I'd like to, of course, give him 3.5, but we'll see. So, fingers crossed. Remember that back in '93, this was the car that transformed Volvo's frumpy image, for a while anyway. Now the T5 has lost its lustre, it makes a fine used bargain. It looked great in black with matching leather, the bodywork was straight, and in the boot was kindergarten paraphernalia, a good sign of a careful owner. There was no smoke from the exhaust, the oil was clean, and the service book was a philatelist delight, crammed with main agent dealer stamps. And yes, all the MOTs were there to confirm a mileage of 78,000, barely puberty in the life of a Volvo. The seller was a solicitor, and a test drive confirmed the worst. I was going to have to make him an offer. Okay, you want £4 grand. What if I say 3.5?
Really pushing it then. No way.
Okay, well, come back to me with a counter offer.
Just go halfway.
37.50.
That's it.
36.
I'm not going to go less than 37.50 at all.
36.50.
37.50. And the keys are yours.
Should hope for the 37.50. 36.75. Come on. Because it's booked quite low. It is
3,700 and that's it. That's final. Can't go any lower than that at all.
All right, well, you've
not over £25. I've gone down £300.
It would be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay. 37. Okay, done. Well then, my turbocharged Volvo is a mint car with perfect provenance, warranted mileage, and to find it, all I had to do is turn the pages of a magazine. This car is near enough trade money. Just because there are no rules doesn't mean to say you can't be a winner.